When y'all do that, all y'all make sure y'all mark it pre-test first. Put an X right there where it says pre-test. Okay, now, today, like I said, we're going to talk about HIV and AIDS. The whole scenario, everyone here believe that HIV and AIDS is the same thing? No. It's not, is it? It's not. What's the difference? Anybody, you just raise your hand. What's the difference between HIV and AIDS?
One was killed and one.
HIV is anything that human and
No. What's the difference between the two? There's a difference between the two. They're not the same thing. You're on the right track. I know what you're saying, but it's a difference between them. What?
HIV is like when you're not fully grown. It's not fully grown into AIDS. So I guess that's kind of the difference when it's not like full-grown AIDS.
That's true. You're almost there. But HIV is a virus. The only one in AIDS is not a virus. It's a disease. So viruses. Let's talk about viruses real quick. Everybody in here have a virus. All of us in here was born with a virus, and we're going to die with a virus. Do anyone know what type of virus I'm talking about real quick? Yeah. I'll give you a hint. Some of us get it in the summertime, the wintertime, some of us don't get it at all.
Pneumonia?
Not pneumonia, a cold is a virus, guys. Yes. There's nothing we can do about it. We were born with this virus. What time do you do the virus shows itself? In wintertime, right? Doctors and scientists have found out that this is a dormant virus, which means it sleeps and then it wakes up. It's surrounded like by a sticky substance. And during the year when it's cold outside, we have to breathe, right? So we breathe cold air, and this sticky substance get hard, and it cracks and it breaks, and allows the virus to shoot out. When this virus shoots out, what it does, it goes straight to our immune system. Okay? And I'll make this look like our immune system here, like a little box. But guess what? When this virus tries to attack our immune system, anybody who watch football? Yeah. What part of the team protects the quarterback? The offensive lineman, right? So let's say that this is the offensive lineman. And this is my immune system right here. Now, the offensive linemen are something called T cells. Anybody ever heard of T cells before? CD4 cells and everything. The T cells, I'll put it up here. The T cells, the T stands for thymus. That's what the T stands for. We have a thymus gland in our body that produces white blood cells. The white blood cells turn into red blood cells, and the red blood cells turn into our blood. Now, this cell right here, which is the thymus cell, it protects our body. We can take all the applesauce cold plus Theraflu when we get cold, but it's our T cells the one that protect us. When this virus tries to hurt our immune system, the T cells attack it. See what I'm saying? So all the medication you take in and everything is really don't really need it. Your T cells are really gonna help you get better. Okay? But some things that we do to destroy our T cells, what do we do to destroy our T cells? What are some of the things we do to kill our T cells? Bad things we can do that I put in our body to destroy our T cells. Smoke, right? Smoking, what else? Drinking. Those kill T cells. Smoking and drinking, I don't care if you smoke cigarettes, you smoke weed, or whatever, you're killing your T cells. And when you kill your T cells, your body defenses are lower, which allow the cold or any other diseases to get you. Okay? Now let's go back to HIV. HIV, it's an acronym, which means that it's what? It's three words, right? So what the H stands for? Human. Human, good. What does the I stand for? Immunodeficiency, right? And what does the V stand for? Virus. Virus. Can we cure a virus? No, a virus cannot be cured. A virus can only be treated, but it cannot be cured. We treat the virus all the time. We get cold viruses, we treat it with a cold, right? We treat it with cold medicine. Well, if you get HIV, it's medications that you can take. Who is the most famous person there you know? Magic Johnson, right? Magic Johnson doesn't have AIDS. Magic Johnson had HIV since 1991. HIV, not AIDS. He's had it since, and it has never went to the age state. It's the reason why. Because he takes his medication, he eats right, and he occasionally exercises. Now, if people say, oh, he has money. Yeah, he does. He can buy the best medication, right? Because if you and I get it, we got to go to the government and get our medication. Exercise. Well, Magic Johnson got a personal trainer. We don't have personal trainers, do we? And Magic Johnson has a chef that cooks his food up. I'm reading, got no shelves, right? We can barely get somebody to cook for us once in a while, right? Cool. So now we got a little bit of origins, what's going on with HIV. Now let's talk about AIDS real quick. What does the A stand for?
Dang.
You close. You said damn, that's close.
I said dang.
Acquired immunodeficiency syndrome.
Right.
Now let's talk about this here. HIV been around for a long time. They just discovered the HIV origins in 1978, but it's been here for a long time. We just didn't know what it was. The virus is passed through 4 different ways. How do you got? What ways do you think the virus is passed through 4 body fluids?
Breast milk.
Huh?
Breast milk.
Breast milk, pretty good. That's good.
What's the other one, sister? They stick.
And what do females produce?
Vaginal fluid.
Secretion. Good.
Got that.
Those are the 4 ways HIV can be transmitted. There's no other way. Let's talk about saliva real quick. HIV antibodies die once it's exposed to the air within 2 to 3 seconds. It's gone. It's going to die. That is a fact. If someone had HIV and they bled on this table, it's gone. So HIV needs a way to get in, and we'll get there in a second. So let's say if someone bled on this table and they had HIV and I came along 2 minutes later and I had a cut on my finger and I said, hey y'all, and uh-oh, can I get HIV? Good, because it's gone, right? Now let's talk about in saliva. HIV cannot live in air. So if it cannot live in air, why can't it live in our saliva in our mouth? Because we're breathing. Good, Keishawn, because we're breathing. Right? He said you get that. Good, because we're breathing. That's why HIV can, that's why oral sex, vaginal sex, and anal sex are not equal. Because oral sex is the least likely way you can get it because of the saliva. That means that one of these body fluids have to be present in the saliva. Y'all got me? If it's just the saliva, it's not going to happen. You know how much saliva that you have to consume to have a 1% chance of getting HIV? No. How about a gallon and a half? Now, who's going to sit here and consume a gallon and a half of saliva? No one, right? Good. So we know that the chances of getting HIV from oral sex is less than regular sex. Now, vaginal sex and anal sex are the most risky, right? Why is anal sex so risky? No. I'm serious. You're being honest. Don't be afraid to say it. Nobody? Okay, go ahead.
Can't you get like cut or something?
It's cut. You're right. You're breaking blood vessels. And no disrespect to anybody. I'm serious. It's an outer, not an inner. But you know what? For each his own. But I'm saying that that's why it's so dangerous. Because when you enter the anal area, you're definitely going to break the blood vessels. And if you break blood vessels, that's what's going to happen. Blood. Now let's talk about a port of entry. A port of entry means it needs a way to get in. If someone had HIV and they bled on my hand and I don't have a cut, can I get it? Good. Let's say that a friend of mine had HIV. He got hit by a car right here on the street right here, and I run out there and say, "Hey man, hold on." The ambulance. I call the ambulance, and he's bleeding profusely, really heavy on my arm. He has HIV, but I don't have any cuts. Right. Can I get it? No. Think about it. Yeah, I could. How? Through what? Say it again. Through pores. Pretty good. Through pores. It can. The high volume of blood starts to soak inside the arm and becomes like a sponge, and it can go through a pore. Did you want to ask a question? Okay, so we know that blood, semen, vaginal secretion, and breast milk. We know that saliva can do it. So if someone has HIV and they walk up to you and say, "I hate you," and just spit on you, can you get it? No. Good. What comes along with HIV and really prevalent today? Other viruses can come along with HIV. You can get HIV in some blood. You can get HIV and gonorrhea. You can get HIV and syphilis. And the number one thing people have been getting with HIV in the last 2 years, tuberculosis, TB. It's been growing with HIV rapidly. Okay, so HIV can bring a friend along. Yes. And it can tear your immune system down. So that's the whole scenario. We go to the bathroom. Anytime we urinate and we defecate, we go to the bathroom. We get rid of dead cells. What are we supposed to do once we go out of that bathroom? Why? You can pass stuff around on doorknobs and everything, and you can get something called hepatitis A. Hepatitis A is not a virus. It's a bacteria, which means it can be treated and it can be cured. But you get hepatitis B, it's a whole different ball game, right? Because hepatitis B is a virus. And what can't you do with a virus again? You can't, but you can do what with it? You can treat it. Good. You contract HIV, you got this for the rest of your life. There's no cure. There's no cure, guys. I don't care about people say, oh, Magic Johnson cured. No, he's not. Magic Johnson still has HIV until they come up with a cure. And there's not many cures for viruses out here.